I know you're all dying to do this, so I'm going to try and show you how it's done. This is how you make a pair of shoes for running in the snow like today. Okay, first, get yourself a pair of, I say older running shoes. Don't do this with your main trainers right now. I'm going to do this with a old pair of Sauconys. They're not that old. They just have a bit of extra wear on the sole, kind of beyond their road running training point for me. All right, the other thing you need is this, sheet metal screws. These are 1/2-inch sheet metal screws. You get those at Home Depot or someplace like that. And the reason you need sheet metal screws is because they're difficult to open. They're extremely similar to more expensive micro spikes. They have those little edges on the hex top of the screw. And to put them in, the easiest way is to use this thing. This is called a nut driver rather than a screwdriver. It's hard to keep a screwdriver on that nut. So you need them in the forefoot not to slip mostly. You also want to make sure that the sole of your running shoe is thick enough that the 1/2-inch screw is not going to go all the way through to the inside of the shoe. In my case, it is. In most training shoes, that's going to be the case today. But just make sure, especially if you're a minimal runner. So I'm going to put 6 micro spikes into this shoe. Well, actually, these sheet metal screws. Probably along here and along here. Best areas for traction for me. You might want to look at where your most wear is on the shoe to figure out where that is. But you don't want to slip with every push off, so I'm going to put probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these screws in. Okay? Find a location. Set up the screw with the nut driver and push really hard while I turn the nut driver. I'm doing that right now. There's one in. There's 2. You can't really over tighten these because if you do, you'll strip out the screw and it's not going to stay in. You don't want to strip it. This is only rubber. It's not like wood or metal for real. There's 3. Oops, that one's not going in too nicely. Come on. My nut driver's failing. There's 4. There's 5. And there's my 6 snow and ice spikes. Maybe I'll think about putting in one up here because I know I push off right here. You can see my shoe's a little bit more worn there. So maybe I'll place one up here, but I'm afraid it's going to go all the way through. We'll check that out after I put it in. And I have news for you. There's a good possibility that when you're done with your run, you'll be missing a couple of these. They do come out. But that's okay. They're only sheet metal screws. It's not like you spent a lot of money on them. And you had a safe run. They'll wear out a bit, but nothing crazy. Okay, there. I've got 7 homemade micro spikes. I'll take out my inner sole just to see if any of those screws came through. I'm feeling, nope, nothing came through. And even if they did, I could back them out a little bit. And you can go crazy. You can put more in here. If you really think you need them in the heel, you could put them there or along here. Totally up to you. Okay? That's sheet metal screws. These are 1/2-inch sheet metal screws from Home Depot. And this is a nut driver that will fit on the 1/2-inch screws. Mine happens to be labeled Taiwan. No, I'm looking for a size. It came in a set, and it was a cheap set, and I just matched it up. All right, good luck, have a nice run.